Hey world, this is Keshia Waldron. Welcome back to my channel, A K in the Life. I am an author, photographer, entrepreneur, model, Jane of many trades, and I am back with a review of one of my favorite shows, Married at First Sight season 14. So this episode we'll be getting into part 2 of the reunion, and I got some things that I need to say. I got some things like Nicki Minaj. I got some things I need to get off my chest. So today's Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day. Make sure you guys grab, I don't know, a hot dog bun, grab your pasta salad, and let's get into it. Okay guys, so this episode, part 2 of the reunion, was jam-packed with drama. And there's so many things that I need to talk about in this short space of time because I don't want to make this video too long where, you know, it doesn't pique your interest because it's too long. But before I get into it, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe to my channel because I be seeing that y'all be watching. Y'all be watching my videos. I be peeping. Y'all be watching my videos. But I need you to subscribe, like, and share so I can continue to do this and give you guys the scoop. All right, so let's get into the reunion. And now I'm not going to do this in any particular order. There's just things that I felt like were highlighted moments that we need to discuss. First things first, let's start off with season 14's second villain, Alyssa. Okay, you guys like, what are you talking about Alyssa for? She quit. She didn't do the whole 8 weeks. That's fine, but let's talk about Alyssa. So, on the reunion, the experts, all 3 of the experts, sat down with Alyssa and they had some things to say to her because she has been saying that she felt like she didn't get what she wanted and she came on the show for the right reasons and the experts didn't do their job pretty much. Now, Dr. Viviana wasn't having that one bit. She's just like, ma'am, according to the assessment that you took, and I got the receipt. Dr. Viviana came out with the receipt. She was like, listen, this is my last season on Married at First Sight before I move on to my next job, my next project. So I'm going to do it with a bang. And Dr. Viviana pulled out her phone like, bam, receipts. So according to the assessment, what you wrote down is the exact description of who Chris is at his core, who Chris is as a person. And this is an unpopular opinion, and I'm a big fan of unpopular opinions because I don't go with the majority just because it's the thing to do. For me, I see things from so many different perspectives, and I can respect so many different perspectives. Now, with that being said, we know Alyssa is not the good person that she says she is. She has shown none of that, even though for some reason all of the girls except for Lindsay seem to like her. But that's neither here nor there because this is not Married at First friendship. But one thing that I feel like is an unpopular opinion that I will have to agree with Alyssa on is the fact that she did not get what she wanted. And I feel like the experts did not give her what realistically would be for her. Alyssa is the type of girl, just based upon her looks alone, that would not date a man like Chris and would not fall in love with a man like Chris. I felt like they did her almost the same way they did Christina of the New Orleans season, who was the flight attendant, and they paired her up with Henry, who was really awkward, and they felt like Christina would bring him out of his shell, and it backfired because he ended up not liking her at all. And I feel it's the same thing in a way with Alyssa because Alyssa is set on, yeah, you may be successful, even though she called him a used car salesman that sells houses, which was really not nice. But her thing is, you have to look the part too. I'm just not about to fall in love with your personality. Like, you have to look the part too. And I did some digging. I did my research. And I actually seen some pictures of Alyssa's ex-boyfriend, and Chris and him are night and day in the looks department. Her ex-boyfriend is fit guy. He has big muscles. You know, he looks nothing like Chris. Here's my thing. I feel like people do not hold men to the same standard that they hold women. Because when a woman says she doesn't like a man physically, or she gives the impression or indication that she doesn't like a man physically, it's almost like people beat up on that woman or pressure her into liking that man. But he's this, but he's that. But I feel like men are not held to that same standard. I feel like when a man says he doesn't like a woman, everybody's just okay with it. Like, and there has been several examples of that on Married at First Sight throughout the seasons. Gil and Merla was an example of that. She didn't like him. He wasn't her type. Beyond their differences as far as their standards go, she said, like, you're not the type of guy that I would go for. And everybody beat up on Merla. Everybody beat up on Merla. She didn't like Gil because he's a good guy. He's good looking to us and not to her. Then the season with, I believe it was a DC season with Zach and Mindy. Unpopular opinion once again. Zach, I respect because he did not lead Mindy on. He did some really butthole stuff, but he didn't lead her on. He wasn't like Chris from the Atlanta season. He was just like, I don't like how she looks. I'm not sleeping with her. I'm not playing house with her. I'm not moving an apartment. I'll come over for my contractual obligation, bring the dogs over, and then when the hour or two is gone, I'm out back to my apartment. But then you have Chris from the Atlanta season who didn't like Paige, that continuously slept with her while disrespecting her to everyone around. It's like, when a woman does not like a man, it's a problem. Y'all try to force it. Y'all try to say, oh, but he's good. You might be missing out on your blessing. Do people tell men they missing out on their blessing when they don't like how a woman looks? Because let me tell you something about men that I know is men, you could literally be the best cook in the world. You could have the potential to be a great mother. But if they are not physically attracted to you, they're not going to force it. They're not going to force a physical attraction. Like, they're not going to force it. They're not going to grow to like you enough to feel satisfied because you have all of these other things going for you. Women more so may be more lenient in that area and say, hey, but he has a great personality, so I might, entertain him. I might get with him. But it's the force that's the problem for me. And a good example of that was what was his name? Ryan and Brett. I didn't think Brett was an ugly girl in any way, shape, or form. I thought she looked good. Ryan was like, no, she's not my type. That's not who I go for. But he was a coward. He wasn't strong enough to just say, hey, I'm not attracted to you, and because I'm not attracted to you, I don't have it in me to pursue you, regardless of how great of a person you are. Like, I remember for the Houston season with Ryan, he literally said, because I think he was having a conversation with his sister, and his sister was like, well, if you had a Victoria's Secret model that didn't have all of these qualities that Brett has, he was like, hey, I'll be a happy man. He didn't care about if she's a good person. He didn't care if her food was good. He didn't care if she could clean. He didn't care if she's interested in what he's interested in. He's like, I want what looks good to me. I want what looks good on my arm. But when a woman says it, it's like, oh my gosh. Everyone's up in the air. Now, with me saying that, because I don't want my words to be misconstrued in any type of way, I believe Alyssa's behavior on the show has been atrocious. She has been obnoxious, and she didn't have to treat Chris badly because she didn't like how he looked. She didn't have to handle him the way that she handled him, but she's not wrong for liking what she likes. So we're not going to beat her down for liking what she likes. And I do believe the experts did set her up to fail. I do believe the experts did put her with Chris for ratings, because we know this happens during Married at First Sight. It was crazy because this past, what was it, Friday? No, Saturday. This past Saturday, I actually was catching up on season 8, which was the Philly season with Keith. I think his name was Keith. I don't really know all of their names, but it was Philly. And I was watching that. It was when the experts were Dr. Jessica, Pastor Cal, and Dr. Pepper. I felt more of an authenticity in season 8 than I do with the experts, than I do with season 14. I felt way more of an authenticity. Pastor Cal was gathering people together who was acting up on the show in season 8, in those previous seasons where I felt like Married at First Sight was way more authentic than it is now. I feel like now it's pairing people up for failure for ratings. And I don't like that, because the whole premise of the show is for people who may have been failing in the dating area in their everyday life, their pickings weren't good, to have professionals come in and match them accordingly. But I don't feel like that this is what happens now. I feel like this is completely scripted, completely produced, and they may throw one couple in there that will make it. And I don't like that. The show's credibility is not what it used to be. And I definitely stand on that. So I do agree with Alyssa that they didn't do their job for her. And that's just my opinion. Now, let's move on, because Alyssa done took up too much time. Let's move on. It's just so much, guys. Let's get into Olajuwon and Katina. Kevin Frazier. Kevin, you watching Kevin? I hope you're watching Kevin. And if one of y'all know Kevin, make sure y'all show him my video. Kevin. I don't know what politics you were playing as the host for this part of the reunion, but I just felt like no one tackled the topics and subjects that need to be tackled. It was handled poorly and was not handled with care. Things weren't addressed the way that they should have been addressed. It was very light. Kevin. I gotta pull a Jasmina. Now Michael. Now Kevin. Kevin sat up there on that couch and said, people are smiling to see Katina and Olajuwon. But if I'm not mistaken, I gotta go back, because I like to do my research and pull receipts. I could have swore he said that he wasn't rooting for them in the casting special. I could have swore he was not team them. Now all of a sudden you're team them because Olajuwon done concocted some type of, I'm a different person now, I've seen the errors of my ways and I'm taking accountability. And you bought into that. I'm sorry, people do not change overnight. The type of guy that he is, acting like a Neanderthal, acting like he's back in the caveman days, you don't change a personality like that overnight. I am so sorry. I am so sorry for anyone that bought into the couple months passed by and he's a different dude, because I don't buy it. And I know y'all gonna be like, you're being biased because you don't like Olajuwon. I don't care. I don't buy it. I don't believe it. I believe Olajuwon didn't expect the world to come down on him as much as we have. And I don't feel like he felt like there was anything wrong with his approach. There was anything wrong with the things that he said. Because he pretty much sat up there and said, I should have worded it better. But the intent was still very much the same. How you felt was very much still the same about her. You're just like, I should have worded it better. But you still felt like Katina wasn't on your level. You felt like she needed to grow up. You felt like you passed her in life and she needs to catch up. Those are the intent of what you were saying to her. But you thought by, okay, maybe I should have put some sugar and cookies and sprinkles on it to make it better. Like, no, sir, because that's how you feel at your core. And I need you to stand 10 toes down on that, stand on that, and stick there. Because anybody that believes that he really did change and he took accountability, as y'all are saying in the comments and on these reviews, y'all gotta take off the rose-colored glasses. Y'all have to take off the rose-colored glasses. I am so sorry. Because Olajuwon is the type of man, to me, that is very much stuck in his ways. So I find it hard to believe that he changed and he's a better man. And then he got down on one knee and gave Katina a new ring. And then she's like, and then Katina says out of her own mouth, he better give me a ring for embarrassing me on TV. So sis, you needed to be embarrassed on TV to get a ring? Oh my God, in what world? In what world? So I gotta be humiliated, talked down to, and be told that I'm not a woman and I'm not on the level of a woman to get a ring? Oh my gosh. Katina, sis, we could be Dora the Explorer and help you find your self-esteem. Backpack. Where the backpack at? Grab the backpack. Let's go find Katina's self-esteem. Because you didn't need all of that to get no ring. You didn't. You didn't. And I heard some rumors about them to present day, but we gonna hold that off until it's fully confirmed. But you didn't need no ring to make up for no embarrassment. That man needs therapy. And I hope in the months that they weren't filming prior to the reunion, and I heard that the reunion is only a couple weeks after Decision Day, I hope he went and got himself into therapy, because if he didn't change. Because he was very adamant on the type of wife he wanted and what his expectations are. And y'all want to sit there and tell me that he changed in a matter of a couple months. Yeah, okay. When fundamentally, at his core, he meant exactly everything he said. But y'all want to buy it. And then Kevin O'Leary, I'm sorry, not Kevin O'Leary. I keep saying Kevin O'Leary because I watch Shark Tank too. Kevin Frazier up there talking about, we love to see it. Love to see what? I don't love to see black women in verbally and mentally abusive relationships. I don't love to see black women being talked down to. I don't love to see black women being humiliated and embarrassed. So what do we love to see, Kevin? Yeah, I'm talking to you, Kevin. What do we love to see? Because I don't love to see it. So stop the nonsense, and we're not going to promote that. You got to do better. You're in the position within our community in media and entertainment. So if you are going to be promoting black love and black people in marriage, this ain't the way to do it. Because sisters out there, that relationship is not what you want. That is not the type of relationship that you want. That's not the type of man that you want. Trust and believe. Kevin, do better. Katina and Olajuwon is not the relationship we want to see. It's not ideal. It's not healthy. It wasn't on the show. Probably still isn't now. She just chose to stay with that type of man. But I would not promote nor encourage that. No. Period. All right, so let's move on to Michael and Jasmina. I'm going to keep it brief on this because I don't feel like they need a long, drawn-out review on them. Jasmina didn't like Mike. Mike went through all the hoops and loops for her, and she knew she didn't like him. And it's just like, when in your gut of guts, in your core, that you don't like somebody, you just don't. But I just wish she would have just said straight up that she didn't like him and left the process. But I feel like she wanted to stay on the show. She wanted to finish this invisible race called Married at First Sight. And at the end of the day, she knew a long time ago that Mike was in the friend zone. She was not interested in him romantically. And he, did all that he could to try to get in her good graces, and it didn't work. They mentioned that the reason that they broke up like 11 days, 12 days after decision day, was because she asked him to borrow a laptop. He said that he would. And then when she called him back to say, hey, are you going to still bring it? He was just like, yeah, I'm not bringing it. And I just feel like this relationship pretty much has no purpose. And I'm done. It's just like, y'all, Jasmina, cut it out. Y'all didn't break up over no laptop. Because you never wanted him. You never wanted him. He turned you off. Like, he was already not your type. But with the arguments and all this aggressive behavior that you said he displayed that I've yet to have seen, and yet there's cameras all over the place, even when the film crew wasn't there, because we've seen that when Jose and when Jose cussed Rachel out and that threw her out of the apartment, that was all filmed. We got to see that. Even when DC season, when Brandon and Taylor used to argue all the time, and Brandon used to get into it with everybody, but the cameras caught them in the apartment snuggling and cuddling up with each other. So I had yet to see any of these behaviors, not to say that it didn't happen, but there's no footage. So where the footage at? Olajuwon acted a fool and showed his whole behind. We've seen all that footage. Michael was aggressive, talked to you aggressively. Yet we see no footage. But I digress. I commend Michael for just standing up and be like, hey, I'm not getting anywhere. There's no romance here. There's nothing I can really do to satisfy this woman. Some people believe that Michael should have been assertive, including Jasmina. And it's just like, for me, with the climate that we are in the world right now, being assertive as a man may not land the way that you want it to. Especially if a woman is not feeling you in that type of way. You may touch the wrong place, do the wrong thing, and then it's a situation. So I believe that Jasmina did not keep that in her mind or in her world. Because even calling him aggressive on national TV, as a black man, yeah. Because we know how we feel as black women when we're called aggressive publicly, consistently. So that could have went left. Like when he, in previous episodes, when he was asleep and his hand touched her butt, she made a big deal out of that. So imagine if he was just to be like, come here, girl, and really lay the Rico Suave on her. That might have went left from what we've seen out of Jasmina. So I don't really know what Mike could have done. And I feel for him, because I feel like he just kind of fell back. Like, I'm not going to overstep my boundaries with you, because I don't know if you're going to call me aggressive for touching you, or trying to touch you, or trying to be romantic with you. I should say not touch, but be romantic with you. So I don't fault him for that. And I'm pretty sure he doesn't have to do as much work in the real world getting women. So he did a lot and he didn't get what he wanted. And that's really that. I just believe that Jasmina did not want to be the villain. So she found every excuse in the book to justify why they didn't work. But in reality, she never wanted him in the first place. But moving along, Noy and Steve, I have nothing to say about them, because it's like they worked out. It's all good in their lands. They were one of the ones that I really was rooting for. And I don't have any feedback from them because, I have nothing to say there. Now I want to talk about Mark and Lindsay. And I'm really, really going to get into some things with this. I honestly feel like Kevin Frazier did not hold Lindsay accountable. He skated over that situation. like it was normal, like it was regular. So did the experts. And I didn't respect it at all. Because Lindsay spit on Mark. It's vile. It's absolutely disgusting to do that because you're mad. And people glossed over it like it was, oh, that's not a big deal. And I don't respect it. I don't, people, you know, they had the Kumbaya circle calling her out, but it wasn't, to me, the tone of it was too light. Too light. Because here's my thing. Because, you know, on my channel, I'm about fairness. I'm not pro-women and only pro-women and I don't hold women accountable, or I'm pro-man and I don't hold men accountable. I don't work like that. I speak the truth and call things as they are. So here's my thing. This situation was glossed right over. It was treated so lightly. Because let me tell you something. Abuse goes both ways. Abuse has no gender. Okay? So we have to treat it as such. If Mark would have spat on Lindsay, they would have got him up out of there so fast. If Mark would have spat on Lindsay, and Lindsay came on the reunion saying, we got in an argument and Mark spat on me, Mark's reputation would be over. Over. He would forever be on mine, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever social media, TikTok, whatever, would have forever been an abuser. That is the mark, no pun intended, that he would have had to carry if the roles were reversed and he spit on Lindsay. Just because Lindsay is a female doesn't mean she can get away with doing stuff like that. That is absolutely disgusting. That is absolutely vile. And there's so many things that I really want to say that I cannot say due to, you know, me having to follow certain guidelines on YouTube. Because if the roles were reversed, Mark would be canceled. And he's not even famous. He's not even an A-list celebrity. He would have been canceled. It would have been an uproar. But we gloss over the fact that this disgusting, vile woman who swears up and down that all the engineers want her and she had all the engineers can spit on this man, and y'all, Kevin Frazier, can sit up there on that couch and gloss over it like it's nothing. And then on top of that, she wasn't even sorry about it. Y'all had to force an apology out of her, which wasn't really an apology because she didn't feel like she was wrong. It was all in her body language. It was all in her tone. It was all in her facial expressions. She didn't feel like she was wrong. And you forced her to sit up there and apologize to Mark the Shark to the point where he was just like, it's okay. And y'all, and then they're like, oh no, Mark, speak up. Tell us what you told. Tell them what you told us. He didn't want the apology because he knew it wasn't sincere. I know for me, if you did me wrong and you don't feel like you're wrong, don't apologize to me because it holds no bearings. Because you didn't want to in the first place. You didn't feel like you was wrong. You're not holding any accountability. So keep your apology. And I feel like Mark didn't get a chance to just be like, keep your apology. I don't want to hear it. This is why I have a problem with the experts. And then Kevin was a cheerleader in the foolishness, because if Mark wanted to be in an abusive relationship, physically, mentally, and verbally, if Katina wanted to be in an abusive relationship, verbally and mentally, they didn't need to come on a show for it. If they wanted to find a narcissist, if they wanted to find somebody that holds no accountability, they could have did that on their own. They did not need certified experts with degrees to put them in an abusive situation than to come on the reunion part 2 and gloss over the fact that this woman spit on this man and didn't care nothing about it. She felt justified in it. She felt like she did no wrong. She felt like he hurt her so much that if I spit on you, oh well, you did this and that to me. You took advantage of me. You used me to build up your grandmother's place and kick me right out so I could spit on you. Really? In what world, Lindsay? In what world? And it's crazy because Lindsay is not accountable. But let me tell you, mama, let me tell you something. When people that you want to date do their research on you and they pull up all this stuff that you be doing, sweetheart, don't nobody want to date you. Nobody want to talk to you. Nobody's in your DMs. No one's in your DMs. You know how a lot of the married at first sight people, when it doesn't work out, like a lot of people are in their DMs shooting their shot. Lindsay, ain't nobody shooting their shot at you because you're a vile human being. And I've been saying that. I have been saying that for a long time on my reviews about this lady. You're vile. You're a Karen. You're disgusting. You have no class. You're not a lady. I don't care how mad I am. That is your husband. The husband that you said that you wanted to protect you. The husband that you said that you wanted to have your back. But did you protect him? Did you have his back? Yeah, you may have did stuff to him for him, but we all know that it came with a whole lot of strings attached to it. And my last review, I did call Mark trifling. I did call him trifling for kicking her out after she helped renovate his grandmother's place that they were supposed to move in together, because they both decided to say yes on decision day, or the green button and him decided to say yes on decision day. But in the same breath, Lindsay, you need help. You need help. You need therapy. You need Jesus. You might even need an exorcism, because there's something really deeply wrong with you. Did your mother spit on you, Lindsay? So you feel like it's okay to be spitting on people? Did your mother spit on you when she got mad? Okay, yes, granted, you was upset that he kicked you out after you gave up your apartment, and you felt like if he didn't want to be with you, then he should have said it from the beginning so you could at least have your place. All right, granted, you were mad about that. I understand that part. But not enough to spit on another human being. Because if I'm not mistaken, isn't that assault in the eyes of the law? Like, and to have the host plus the experts gloss over it. Even Dr. Viviana was like, listen, Lindsay, you said enough. You said enough. Like, we don't want to hear your honesty or your honest truth. And she was like, no, Dr. Viviana, you're cutting me off. You don't want to hear nothing nobody got to say. One, but I still felt like they were light on her. When I watched season 8 of Married at First Sight Philly, and I don't remember what the guy's name, I don't know if it was Justin or Luke, one of those, when he told the woman that they paired him up with, his wife, that he felt dead inside and he was disgusted or something along those lines, Pastor Cal checked him good. And he was like, if you don't want to be here, get up off the show. But then y'all turn around season 14 and gloss over the fact that this woman spit on this man. But the world wouldn't have kept the same energy if Mark had spat on her. He would have been everything in the book. He would have been canceled. Good luck with him finding employment. Seeing a manifestation of his behavior. But y'all treated it so lightly. Why? Because you didn't want to attack Lindsay. You didn't want her make her feel some type of way. Who cares? Holding people accountable won't always feel good. Being held accountable won't always feel good. It won't always feel soft. It won't always feel light. People are not going to be careful with your feelings when they're holding you accountable. Sometimes you have to hear the raw, honest truth, whether you like it or not, to start making changes for progress. Y'all didn't need to hold her hand. She's not a kid. She's grown enough to be acting crazy. She has no accountability and she could spit on people, but then y'all want to hold her hand and be light about the situation. Mark was sitting up on that couch with tears in his eyes, and he said she's the worst bully he's ever had in his whole entire life. He said he was bullied in school, and she's the biggest bully. So experts, this is what I talk about in my reviews. Y'all the one with the degrees, but y'all putting people in abusive relationships. Y'all the one with the degrees, and somebody could turn around and say, this person is the worst bully I've ever had in my life, and y'all actually thought y'all did y'all job. Kevin talking about with Elijah and Katina, that's what we want to see. We're smiling. Smiling about what? Abuse? Are you crazy? This is what y'all promoting now? This is what y'all promoting. Because the ratings matter more than these people's lives, right? This is completely entertainment. Come on now. Y'all gotta do better. Y'all have to do better. Y'all have to do better. It's a lot of men do not show vulnerability. A lot of men will not sit up there and cry on TV and it be really from a sincere place. So with this man showing emotions and having this incident just glossed over lightly, it boggles my mind. It boggles my mind, because if the roles were reversed, it would have been so different. The conversation would have been so much different. And we have to stop that, because men face abuse as well. Not only women. It has no gender. And let's always remember that. Experts, Kevin, next season, I hope y'all come better. I hope y'all do better. And I hope y'all take heed to the reviews that people take time in their lives to make on this show. Because not only is it entertainment for us as content creators, but it's suggestion for y'all as producers and as a network to do better. Because at the end of the day, we review these shows because we love these shows. So we need y'all to step up to the plate and do better. Like, for real. Okay. So, I said my piece. And there may be... I said my piece. I said my piece, y'all. I said my piece. And I pray to God that season 15 is better than this. I don't really have high hopes for it based upon what I've seen thus far. But I really hope that these experts take heed. I heard that there's going to be 2 new experts on the new episode, season 15. I may review season 15, I may not, I don't know. Devon Franklin, who was formerly married to Megan Good, is going to be one of the experts, but I'm hearing, spoiler alert, if you don't want to hear the spoiler, fast forward. I heard that he's only on for 1 episode, so they're just using him being on the show as an expert for marketing purposes to get people to watch. That's what I heard. That's what I heard. And then there's a new expert, I don't really know her name yet, but she's supposed to be a sex therapist. somewhere along those lines. So kind of picking up from where Dr. Viviana left off. So I pray that these seasons get better, because like Pastor Cal and Dr. Pepper, specifically Pastor Cal, and yes, I have respect for you, Pastor Cal, but I gotta hold you accountable as well. I really believe y'all are delusional, believing that y'all have that y'all are super successful with these matches, because it's not. It's few and far between the people who actually make it and stay together and are in healthy relationships. It's very few and far between with this whole franchise of Married at First Sight. So let's keep it 100. Very few and far between. So do better. That's my review. Do better. You know, and it's funny because I listen to some of the other content creators. Auntie's Advice is one of them. Janice Hilton channel is one of them. Jasmine W, comedian Jasmine W, shout out to her. I listen to her reviews. Kojo, Little Black Book 91, I listen to his reviews. And then the married couple, I think Pat and Cam, I believe, I listened to their reviews. I actually was just watching Pat and Cam's review, and Pat called Elijah one out, and he's a man. And a man of color. And he was like, yeah, I don't believe that he changed. He's the same guy. So when I say the things that I say, I know I'm not crazy, because I observe and I assess situations. I see beyond just the surface of things. I see deeply into people and situations. I cannot easily be fooled. And that's probably... Anyway, I cannot easily be fooled. So somebody just showing up, cutting their hair, come in a nice suit and saying they changed does not convince me, does not move me. If you are not actually taking real steps, like therapy, like getting yourself together, because you beat that girl down so much, because her self-esteem was already shaky as is, but you beat her down even more, that she stayed with you when she had the opportunity to run, to haul. I know what I'm talking about. I be knowing, like Amanda Seals be saying, I be knowing. I know what I'm talking about. But anyway, I said my piece. I feel like all of the drama with Lindsay and Alyssa and Jasmina and Katina and Noah, I just feel like all of them coming for Lindsay because of her behavior, and then Steve stepping up and talking about how he didn't appreciate her behavior. I feel like it was needed and necessary. I seen some other... I watched Rizzo with Rizzo with Love, I believe is the channel. I watched Rizzo's review too, and I feel like some of the content creators were like, people were ganging up on Lindsay. I don't feel like people were ganging up on Lindsay. Lindsay deserved everything she got that night, and it should have been more. Honestly, it should have been to even a higher extent than that. So I don't believe anybody was ganging up on her. I don't believe anybody was bullying her. She's the bully. It is what it is. But anyway, thank you guys for taking the time to come to my channel, watch my review. Make sure that you not only look, but you like, share, and subscribe. I really do appreciate it, and I enjoy doing these reviews. I might do a review on the Where Are They Now, which will be airing on Wednesday. But in the meantime, in between time, enjoy your week. Stay blessed, stay prayed up, stay protected. Thank you guys for watching my channel. This is Keshia Waldron with A Came to Life.